everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Donnie and you're watching Diamond Painting by Donnie. I've had many people ask about glue dots and how they can be used for diamond painting. I have found that these are the best thing for me. Now, it may not work for other people, but I have actually just fallen in love with using these for my diamond paintings. I've actually been replacing all the adhesive that I'm using in my pens when it needs time to be replaced. I've been replacing it with the glue dots. Now, you can get different size dots. First, the smallest they have are the micro dots, and these are very tiny. I actually purchased the micro dots, and then later I purchased this desktop holder, and I put my micro dots in here. So I'm going to show you how small the micro dots are. You can see right there the shininess on that right there, the glue. It's a little tiny dot. Now these are 1/8 of an inch, which are the tiniest that they sell, as far as I know. And what comes in this are 3/16, and this is the size of those. Now compare them side by side. You can see the size difference. I have found that I can put one of these inside of a single placer and it's sufficient. So I'm going to show you the exact way that you need to be able to fill a pen. All I do is I take it and I scoop it up like this. So it's kind of sticking all over the place right now. You can see. Well, maybe you can't see, but here we go. You can see how it's kind of sticking up there. So what I do is I take a pair of my very pointy tweezers and I will just push it in. Some people like to use the micro dots, the itty bitty ones. If you use those, it will take between 2 and 3 of the itty bitty ones. But see, there it is, it's in there, and this will last a very long time. If you find that it's finally not sticking anymore, all I do is I pull it up just like that, and I will stick it back in upside down and then shove it in again. And I can do that like 3 or 4 times before I actually need to replace it. Now this is one of my new tips that we are selling. It is a stainless steel tip, and these tips will last forever. They don't burr or scratch or scrape like the brass tips do that come on all of the diamond painting pens that you get in kits. The pink, the ones that look like this. You can see the difference here. These are brass and this is stainless steel. And I've had to replace many of these tips because I'm kind of rough, and sometimes the edges will bend out and get caught and start scraping things, and that's when you know you need to change it. But with one of these, you won't have to do that. I will probably only have the single tip, only. I don't plan on doing multi-tips. It's just the single tip. Anyway, back to the micro dots. Oh, and these can be changed. You can put them in a new one of these at any time you want, and if you have a pen already, you can all buy just the tip and stick it in your plastic piece. Use pliers. They are very durable. You won't squish them. And next, you see here, I have a very large one. This is a 10 placer. I'm going to go with one of the smaller ones first. So here's a 4 placer. Okay, you would have to use several of the itty bitty tiny micro dots in order to fill up this. You'd have to probably use Oh, I wouldn't even try. Only thing I would use these on are single placers. Now, if you're using a plastic tip, which is what these pens come with when we sell these in the shop, they come with one of these, and these do wear down. If you put a the microdots in here, you probably will not have to replace your microdots whatsoever until you're having to replace this tip, because see, this isn't a full tip. This has been worn down, and as it wears down, it actually exposes more of the microdots, so it keeps it fresh. So this is like an everlasting, forever plastic tip if you use it with the microdots. But not everybody prefers those. These are not a preferred tip to everybody. A lot of people still like to use the metal. I prefer to use the metal tip on squares. I will not use one of the plastic tip on square drills whatsoever. But I will use it on rounds. Anyway, back to filling these. Now, there are other sizes that you can get. In fact, I think the ones I have here are 1/4 of an inch. Let's see. I have a couple packages of them, but it's already open. 1/2 an inch, actually. So these are really big, but they are good for something. Let me show you what I got here. All right, so you can see how big these are, even in the light. Compare that to the microdot. That is a huge difference. So if you buy these, you cannot, you're not going to be able to get them into a single placer, and it's going to get frustrating because they're very hard to cut and whatnot. I've tried. So they are good for the larger ones. We're going to see how many we can fit. This is a 4-placer, and I think this is actually still too big for a 4-placer. I have a 7-placer here and a 10-placer here. So we're going to try the 7-placer first. And let me pull this back. So let me just pull one off because it'll make it easier. Okay, so now you can see the glue dot really well, like that. Okay, so let's try, no, I'm going to try the 7-placer. That's right. Okay. So I'm just going to, I got my camera, like this, and I'm going to kind of scoop it. I kind of got a hold of it. It doesn't matter if it gets all folded in on itself. You want to get it on there and then just kind of squish it in here. I'm using it right now. I'm doing a, let's see, a 5-placer. I've got some in a 5-placer, and I think I was trying to cut it, and it just got really frustrating and hard to do. But look at this. It looks like this might actually still be too big for a 7-placer even. So if you actually have some laying around the house, or you bought the wrong size and you have them, don't throw them out, or don't give up on it yet. You can still, use it in these. They are pretty malleable, so you can spread them out. So but you want to make sure you get it corner to corner, all the way to the edge, because there's nothing like using a 7-placer or whatever, and it's only picking up 6 because you don't have it all the way to the edge. Now I'm going to show you me using them afterwards. I'm going to pull out my diamond painting and give you show you how I do it, or because there is a way, there is tricks, because this is very sticky. I mean, it's meant to be glue, and there's just things you're going to have to do to make sure you can actually diamond paint with it, because it has such a stick to it that sometimes if your glue on your canvas isn't very good, your drills don't want to stick to the canvas when you use this. So, I mean, one of the things you're going to want to do right away is touch it, because you're not going to ruin the sticky. You're going to want to make sure that you can get rid of some of that super sticky. You know, sometimes I just go for it right away, and then I regret it because it takes me so long to diamond paint because it's so sticky. I'm having to fight because that's only on canvases where they're not very good. Okay, so you can see here, let me get in the camera. It's kind of still sticking out because this is just a little bit too much. Now I'm going to try, yeah, I do have it in the corner, I think. I'm going to either try to just keep it, sticking it in there to make sure I've got every last corner filled. And then once I'm sure of that, then if there's still excess sticking up like it is here, I'm going to try it. And if it's just causing too many problems, then I will try to trim it with an X-Acto knife. But we'll find out once we get it. Okay, so I've never filled a 7-placer before or a 10-placer, so we're just going to take the steps that I did on my other multi-placer. And there we go. So you can already see that there's some, it's starting to get a little dirty, which is okay because we need it to be not as sticky as it actually is. Okay, so that was 1/2 inch micro dot or glue dot. And I mean, you can use other brands. This is just the biggest name brand there is. And now we're going to try the 10-placer. So the 10-placer will definitely need one of these large ones, possibly 2, or I might try and fill in the excess with one of the 3/16 sizes. I only have these 3 sizes right now because I have so much of them. I feel they're going to last me a lifetime. So let's go ahead and fill this, or grab a hold of this one. And I know that this one is not going to be enough because these are pretty deep. As you know, if you've used these thin placers before, they do wear down and you have to replace them. They are consumable. They are, because of the material they're made out of, they will not last forever. So your adhesive may actually, your sticking medium, I should say, may actually last longer than your tip. That is how long this stuff lasts. I love not having to stick my tips in to wax constantly to keep refilling it. But you know what? This might actually be, no, now I can see it's going deeper in. But that's 1/2 inch. And I'll try it to see, but I don't think it's pretty deep down in here. I don't think this is going to be enough. Even as much as I'm stretching it to reach from one end to the other, I don't think it's filling it enough. So we will need a second one, but I'm not going to put another 1/2 inch in there because it definitely won't take 2 of them. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time to get it, but you know how much time you save not having to replace your wax and the frustration when you're trying to diamond paint and it just won't pick up the drills. It saves a ton. So I'm going to put this away and I'm going to add a couple of these, or maybe just one. Let's see, where are they? See, because there's a big size difference even from the 3/16 and the 1/2 inch. There's a big difference. So I definitely can see that I have it over on this side, but I don't have anything over in this corner here. So So now what we're going to do is try and fill in this corner over here. Where are they? Here they are. Okay. So I'm just going to scoop it in like so. And then poke. And it looks like it's still down there pretty deep, so I'm going to add one more. There we go. Simple as that. It just scooped right in on this one. And as you can see how sticky this is, it's sticking to the tweezers. All right. Okay, it looks like it may be filled. And this one's not going over. It's not overlapped. Well, obviously, because you saw how I had to put extra in there. That means this is more of a perfect fit than the 7 placer. All right, we're going to try them out, but here, we're going to do the 4 placer real quick with the 3/16, and I'm going to put in, let's see, we're going to grab 2 of them. All right, and just shove them in there. And you don't have to worry about these drying out. They don't dry out. I don't know how the magic works. I just know it does. So, all right, I've got 2 of them in there. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but we will give it a try. So I'll be right back with my diamond painting, and we're going to try them out. Okay, here we are with the diamond painting that I'm working on at the moment. In here, I'm going to use this symbol right here where the 8s are, because we've got a couple of strips that the 10 placer will work, and then the 7 placer down here, and then the 4 placer and the single placer. So I'm going to try the 7 placer first. This is the one that has the overlapping, which I'm almost positive I'm going to have to trim it, and we're going to try that together if, you know, it is absolutely necessary. Sometimes you can actually just keep working with it like this, and it'll eventually push in or overflow, and then you can scrape it off. When it overflows on the sides, you can just kind of scrape off the edges. But we're going to try with what we have right now. First of all, we're going to see if it picks up all 7. Okay. So let's do 1 row of 7. Okay, it didn't pick up the end. Yeah, it's not picking up that the 7th. So that means that this last one needs to be filled a little bit more. And as you can see here, they're kind of falling off. They're just kind of cockeyed. It'll work, but it might be annoying to some people. So it's got 6. And I'm going to pull this up. And we will place 6 down here. Now, when you go to lift it up, you don't have to press very hard with this stuff. And when it's first fresh, you're going to want to slowly lift it to make sure it's going to not leave, you know, because the glue on this is not very sticky. So I know by experience already that I've had issues with things sticking to the canvas. But they're straight now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6 left, and let's just finish that section. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So they picked up just fine. I didn't try that 7th one because I know that it's it doesn't have enough in there. I mean, if I could try it again, it's kind of staying, but it falls right off. But I only have 6 available for this spot anyway. But because they're kind of at awkward angles because of the lumpiness of the glue dots, I'm having to guide it to get it in the right spots. And as I go to release it, as you can kind of see here, you see how it's kind of stuck to them like that. This isn't too bad. I mean, it pulled off fine, but they're all crooked because of the unevenness of the glue. So we're gonna want to straighten that up. Because this is, when you're multi-placing, this is not what you want to sit here and spend all your time doing, is straightening your drills every single time. That gets quite annoying. And that's why most of the time, that's why I use the mesh rulers sometimes, because I don't have to worry about doing this. It will straighten them for you. But while we're at it, we're going to try the 4-placer right here to make sure that it's filled properly. And let's pick up 4. It picked them up nice, and they look pretty even. So I'm gonna do 4. Oh, can't see it. Let's do 4 right there. And if you pull directly up, it actually helps to keep them in place. So this seems pretty good. I'm going to do 3 because I have a 3 spot there. Just kind of see how quickly I can do it. Yeah, this is good. This is good sticky. It's not pulling the drills up with it. So we're okay here. Now let's try that 10-placer, which it's looking like it's starting to pull out of the holes, but we haven't used it yet. So let's condition it to tell it where it's supposed to be. And in the meantime, let me get some drills lined up here. So for those of you who are still new at multi-placing, this is what I do when I'm doing especially big numbers. They don't have to be perfect in the tray. I just start on an edge, like right here, on the 2nd row right here. I'm going to start on the edge, and I'm going to push them together until I get the amount that I need for this multi-placer. And if I don't pick them all up, I will move over a little bit more. Now this one's being really fussy because of the unevenness of the sticking medium. I kind of need to press really hard to get them to go in there. Okay, but they're all there. This one here on the end looks like it doesn't have anything it's really holding on to. Yeah, so it's going to need more put into that corner. And some people don't want to mess with having to get it just perfect. But if you do, if you take the time to do it, you won't have to change out your sticky for a very, very long time. All right, and let's get this in the view so you can see where I'm putting it. I'm putting it right here on these 8s. And I have to pull up, and see, it didn't take 2 of them. It kept them, they're still on there. But sometimes when your sticky isn't very good, that happens. And it's just, this is stickier than the adhesive on the canvas. But as I said, I need to fill in this corner, so I'll probably end up sticking a couple more in there. And this looks like it's not very full right in that spot too. So you just need to gauge it however it ends up being in there. If you have to add more, test it out on a couple of placements. If your sticky here is stronger than your sticky on your canvas, touch it, rub it a bit more. Sometimes you can pull it apart like that and redistribute it. So now I have more in that corner, and it'll stay in there. But sometimes you don't want to use a ton of like the teeny tiny ones, because then you will have an issue with them staying in because they'll want to pull out. So let's see if I can get 10 on here again. I don't have a place to put 10, but we're just going to try and pick them up because I redistributed it. Yeah, so there you can see where I need more attention. That corner needs more. But the bigger ones aren't very often used with these. Like I said, the biggest I've had it on was a 5. The 7 worked well, but as you can see on this one, it's having issues finding. If I want to take the time to fill in those spots with the smaller dots, I will. Because like I can see right there, there's a big gap. And that's where it's not picking up. And I may have wanted to use 2 of the 1/2 inch and then just trim it. That might have been a smarter idea. But like I said, I'm learning too. But I do know I have been using the glue dots for quite some time now. And I know a lot of you have heard about using glue dots. And I don't know if there is a video out there, but I wanted to put one out for all my viewers that have been asking about it, so that you have a place to come to reference how to do this. And, you get the general idea. So now that you know how to fill them, you know how to, gauge the size, because you can see the 3 different sizes I have. And you can see what you possibly may need to fill your multi-placer. I mean, these multi-placers go up to 15, these thin placers here. So if you're a die-hard 15 placer, you're gonna use a few of the 1/2 inch dots. And I'll link down below where you can get all these different sized glue dots. And now that I just move these around a little bit, I'm going to test this one more time, and then I'll show you the single placer. So, here we go. I didn't press very hard because this is sticky, and I didn't want to stick my tray on the sticky. And as you can see, I got them all picked up, but some are still not got a lot of enough sticky on it. So that corner right there needs more. This corner right here needs a little bit more, because there's some in there. It's just not high. It's just, these are really deep, the area, because they do wear down. So they're pretty deep, so that you can use them for a while before having to replace them. And the rest of it, let's see, and try pulling it off and see how easy it comes off. So they're on there pretty good. None of them are coming off just by me trying to push them off gently. I have to go a little tougher, pull them off to get them off. So I've almost got this one perfect for placing drills. Not quite, but almost. So yeah, that would be something I'll work on later. I don't use 10 placers too often. Because, especially with this one, this has got a lot of confetti. But now I'll show you the single placer here with the stainless steel tip. And let's go back to the number we were working on. I'm just going to start placing the singles. And see, this is actually... This is the 3/16, and it's a little big for this chamber, but it's sticking out a little bit, but that's fine. It's not hurting it because it's very like squishy, and you can be a hard presser or a light presser and it still works really good picking things up with the micro dots. So I'm not having any issues picking them up or leaving them behind. This is the perfect size for the single tip, in my opinion. But because I bought the super tiny micro dots, I will still use those to use them up. I don't want to waste my money that I spent buying them. And let's see, we got some more of this color here, which would have been good for a multi-placer because it's a nice straight row. But I am showing you the single placer right now, so I'm gonna just do some singles. Nice, and it still gives you that sound when you release it, that pop people like to hear. And there it is. I think that's all of this. Nope, there's some more down here. We'll fill those in, and then you can go try it out yourself. Thing about this stuff is you can get it on Amazon Prime, get it in a couple of days, so you don't have to go into the store, have to wear your mask and do all that. So there they are. I mean, there's a few more of this color, but I think you get the picture how well these work. And just as a side note, if you do decide to purchase one of these from my store, you can either buy the tip by itself and put it on your, swap all the ones out on your pins at home, or if you're wanting a pen as well, you can add both to the cart and just leave me a note in the note to seller section saying that you would like your silver tip put on your pen that you just purchased. So there you go, guys. I hope this has helped somebody or a few of you, and come check out what I've got. These pens are some that are in my store. I may be sold out of this one and this color as well. Only reason I have them is that these were broken and I glued them back together, so I get the defects and they work great even though I had to glue them together. I don't have any problem with them, but I would not sell something damaged like this to anybody. So there you go. Check it out. If you've been leery on trying out the microdots, now's a good time to do it now that you've seen how it works and how easy especially it is to just put it into a single placer. Those were super easy. It was super easy to put it into the 4-placer and even the 7-placer, but the 7 and 10, they do have their quirks as far as not being perfectly even. I will take an X-Acto blade to show you how you can cut them. I mean, I'm gonna try. I think I've done it before. It just depends. I'm just taking it, and they're not easy to cut because the glue is super sticky, and I don't know if I want to cut it or just pull it off and then redistribute it like that. See, not so easy to cut these, but I just pulled a piece off from the lumpy part, and I'm going to put it on that end piece where we were missing some, or was it? It was the other end. Okay, and there I see. I ended up pulling out the whole thing. These are so super sticky. All right, so now I have to do this one all over again. But that is what you would do. You would just kind of take some of that excess and make sure your knife isn't too super sharp that you're going to cut yourself, but then you're going to just kind of, cut it. You don't need to cut it. You could just try and pull it off. It's very, very hard to cut, like I said. So be very careful with an X-Acto knife. These are cheapy non-X-Acto knives, so they're not as sharp. But, if you want perfection, you're going to want to work on this or use a smaller size. Don't use the 1/2 inch on this one because it's just a little bit too big. I would use the 3/16 or possibly a size in between. I'm pretty sure they do have a 1/4 inch as well. So maybe a 1/4 inch would work better in this one. So thank you again for everyone for watching. I hope, again, that this has helped some of you decide whether you want to try microdots or if you've bought them and you're not sure how to load them. I hope it's answered your questions and you now know how to get them in your pens and have fun playing with your new multi-placers with the awesome microdots and your single placer that will last forever. And I'll see you in my next video. So have fun diamond painting, guys, and don't forget to always sparkle wherever you go and whatever you do. Take care, everyone. Bye.